This video contains information that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are a viewer and are triggered or shocked by images and need a warning prior to every clip or story being discussed, then please unsubscribe from my channel immediately. My channel covers the harsh reality of even the worst crimes imaginable and is for adults only. For those of you who fit into this category, take this message as your warning and don't watch any further. Whoa, who knows what's going on, everybody? Who the hell knows? It's crazy. It's some crazy times out there. Alright, back to what we were doing before. Okay, let's just see if it doesn't happen again. Okay, that's what I'm hoping for. Okay, that's what I'm hoping for. Maybe we cleared that all out. Well, this isn't really me. This is a future version of me who went back in time. Do you understand? This is not me. Okay, so if you're watching the other show, this was not me. Okay. I'm a little nervous that shit'll happen again, though. Who knows what's up the sleeve of YouTube. Wow, you sent that at October 16th. Wow. It's amazing. Okay. That did exist. I hope you didn't start the chain of whatever the hell they were doing. Okay. Yes, it's tonight, Paisley Dreams. It's tonight. Okay. Anyways, so I think, okay, that one looks correct. I'm a little bit like gun shy now looking at the screen. I don't know what's going on. But listen, I thank you guys for riding the wave that wasn't really there,
but tonight I appreciate rolling it. On the floor laughing tears of joy.
Helps out a lot at the end of the month. Thanks, Miss Skis. That was some weird shit, wasn't it? Yeah, I think we were covering the Daybell case too much that the Angels Behind the Veil actually got a hold of the...
Happy birthday, Gray. I sent this October 16th, 2019.
Wow. Took a long time to get here. Well, they did tell me it's going to be 6 weeks of sort of... I can't really do any sports or anything. I'm okay with that. I'll just start up again with that exercise program once it's all good. By then I'll be way lighter and build back up.
Lol.
Yeah, that was a weird, that was very strange. Whatever the hell that was, okay? Now I've got to open up another program that shut down, so... Da-da-da. Yeah, 6 weeks. After my surgery. That's right, I was in the DeLorean. Thanks, Jennifer Cochran Finn and Wally Gator again. Okay, so the first case we're gonna talk about tonight is the missing Marilyn. I don't know if she says Marilyn or if it's Marilane Carter. It sort of sounds like the last show, but it really these are legit.
Okay. Now there's a guy named Brad Bryant. He's been putting out, his link is in the description. He's a Facebook person. He's put out some surveillance footage and other information that you can check out on the case. On the screen right now is the surveillance footage. But let's first, before we do that, let's read. I wasn't able to find her address in this town. There was another address I found. Didn't seem like it was.
Gray, stay out of the DeLorean.
I will. I'll tell whatever his face is, Michael. Stay away from me. Thanks, Sapphire and Dadio Caspi and Horses Rock. Okay. The Overland Park Police Department received a report of a missing 36-year-old female. The missing person is Marilyn Carter. She was last seen leaving her home in Overland Park, Kansas City metro area. And so that was on August 1st at approximately 8:15 p.m. Miss Carter was traveling by vehicle to Birmingham, Alabama. Okay, so I do think I found, I might be able to, I think I found where her sister lives. So hold on, let me go back to what I was doing a few minutes ago. I'll get this in here, hold on. It might take a second. Yeah, so it's Marilyn. Okay, and she has a sister, and I think it was there, and that's what she lives in Birmingham. So I'll just get the general, I'll put this in here. Okay, so right around in this area is where the sister lives. Right there. Okay, so we have that. Back to this. Miss Carter was traveling through vehicle to Birmingham, Alabama to visit family. Last known telephone contact with family places her in the area of Memphis, Tennessee. Alright, so we'll just kind of go to Memphis, Tennessee. Hey, thanks, Zozo. Okay, so we'll just put a pin in Memphis. Hold on. Okay. So Miss Carter was traveling by vehicle to Birmingham, Alabama to visit family. Last known telephone contact was with family places her in the area of Memphis, Tennessee. The information has been confirmed by law enforcement. Miss Carter is a white female, 5'8". So how about let's do this, Overland Park, Kansas. We'll go there too. Okay, wow, so she's been driving quite a ways. Huh. Yeah, so she's going like this. It's almost like a straight line up like that. But I mean, obviously the roads don't do that. So she's a white female, 5'8", and weighs approximately 130 pounds. She has long brown hair and green eyes. Miss Carter was last seen wearing a green t-shirt and black yoga pants. Miss Carter has made concerning statements to her family and has not been heard from since later Sunday, August 2nd. Miss Carter was driving her gray 2011 GMC Acadia bearing Kansas license plate 194LFY. If anyone should see Miss Carter and her vehicle, please call the local law enforcement agencies. Okay. So now we'll open up. There's another one of these. Okay, so she's in a dark gray GMC Acadia. I guess it looks like that. She's a beloved wife and mom of 3 kids, was driving to Birmingham. Okay, and here's something the husband put out. And this is on Find Marilyn page. Let me turn up the volume.
Missing for a week now. Hi everyone, this is Adam Carter, husband of Marilyn Carter, who's been missing for a week now. And first thing I do just want to say is thank you so much for your prayers and support. It's been overwhelming to just sense those prayers and see the support, both to not just myself, but our entire family. So thank you so much for that. Many of you have reached out and said how you can help. And the biggest need that we need help with right now is we need volunteers to help us search the river right around the I-55 bridge there in Memphis. We need people who have a boat and very good sonars and experience navigating the Mississippi River. And so if you can do that, or if you know someone who can, you can do that by signing up at findmarilane.com. That's findmarilane.com. There's a sign-up sheet on there. That would be a huge help to us as we're attempting to rule out the worst possible case scenario of the river in that area. So if you could sign up on findmarilane.com, that would be a huge help and blessing to our family. Again, thank you so much for your words of encouragement. We see that encouragement, and so we just want to
it sounds like
say
she
thank
has
you
a little bit of
and
mental
continue to pray
issues.
that we can have Marilyn home. Our 3 kids miss her. I miss her, and we want to have her home. Hi everyone, this is Adam, and we want to have her home.
Oh, it cuts off right there. Okay.
Hi everyone, this is Adam Carter.
All right, and let's see. Let's go through a couple of these links. These are all in the description.
Her parents' home. But first, tonight at 10, a family holding out hope. 7 days after a wife and mother of 3 disappears part way through a road trip on her way to seek medical help in Alabama. 41 Action News reporter Mackenzie Nelson spoke with the family again today and shares their story.
It's been 1 week since Marilyn Carter left her Overland Park home for Birmingham, Alabama, and has not been seen since.
We just want to find her and find her safe.
Family says Marilyn planned to seek mental health treatment at a Birmingham hospital where she once worked and is close to her parents' home. On August 1st, around 8:15 p.m. is when she hit the road.
I mean, every time I see not even a GMC Acadia, but a car that's dark color with GMC on it, I mean, I'm about to just jump out of my seat.
8 hours after she left town, surveillance video shows Marilyn checking into a hotel in West Plains, Missouri. Not long after, she's seen checking out and driving off.
Marilyn checked in early Sunday morning at about 3:37 in the morning. She stayed just for a little while and left around 6:08 in the morning to continue her journey. So she didn't get much sleep. We know that she was sleep deprived.
After 8 p.m. on Sunday, Marilyn has not been heard from. Her phone is turned off and her credit cards have not been swiped. A missing persons report was then filed here at the Overland Park Police Department, and that's when the search for her began.
Things are moving. Of course, they can never move fast enough when it's a family member and a loved one, but we're still holding out hope.
On Monday morning in northern Mississippi, a woman claims she gave Marilyn $10 for gas.
That was not able to be confirmed by security camera footage, but we saw 2 employees who felt very strongly they did see her there.
If it was Marilyn, Adam says that would have been the last known sighting of his wife. Since news spread of his wife's disappearance, tips have been coming in, but none have turned into leads.
I think what's been, reassuring is that tips are coming in. We don't know what tip is real, what tip's not. Just reassuring to know that people are looking.
Adam says his wife drove from Kansas to Birmingham many times. While he was in Memphis Friday to help with search efforts where her phone last pinged, he's now in Birmingham, hoping Marilane shows up.
This is just a gut instinct. I believe she.
Hey everybody, stop everything. The really cool Rebel Rose is here. Wow. Everybody just stop everything and focus in on her. Look at that. Hey, Rebel's in the house. You know what's weird is when people refer to themselves with nicknames.
She's trying to get here, and so I want to be here to be ready to find her and take care of her.
In Overland Park, Mackenzie Nelson, 41 Action News.
Today, Marilane's family also shared how you can help from home. On a post
The
on
Housters
the
here,
Marilane
man.
Facebook page,
Yeah.
those interested are encouraged to post flyers in public places. If you do, you are asked to comment on the Facebook page and let them know where you've
I'm just
posted them.
teasing you, Rebel-
If anyone has
Rebel
heard
Rose.
from her, please call police.
See?
The clock is...
Everybody stop. Okay, so let me play. I've got a longer version. It's kind of blurry because I think the guy that I mentioned earlier, he like filmed a screen.
August 2nd.
He's talking
at
to
6:05 a.m. She's leaving.
Yeah, so what's weird is she checked in at like 3 and then she leaves at 6:05, right? So I think this first part, this is first. So it's dark outside. That's when I realized that she got there late or early in the morning. So that's her checking in, right? And then right after she checks in, then all of a sudden at
6:05 a.m.
you can see the time. Let's see, where is that? I was hoping that wasn't blurry, then I could see where that was. Yeah, there it is. Right there. So it's 3:37 right there. Is about when she checks in. So it wasn't even 2.5 hours later she's checking out. And it looked like she had a lot of heavy stuff she was bringing in there. So I found that kind of interesting. Like this part. I mean, look at that. That looks like she's having a hard time really kind of walking with it. And then it's just a lot of crap, you know, for a 2.5 hour stay. Hey, thanks, Spicy Bricey. Yep. It's been kind of a nightmare, but it's I'm able to sort of be okay if I stay in a position. So that's her. And she's checking in. Like, was she just going to check in for a quick little rest? Go to the bathroom, clean up a little bit, something? Hell, maybe she said she was going to go to a place but left to meet somebody. I mean, this will be like the 5th one of those stories this year. It could be that she was really mentally ill and she took her life somewhere.
Thank you for your hard work, especially suffering with the dreaded cervical issues. From Tupelo, Mississippi.
Well, I'll have my Chris can go, so I'll have her take pictures of me when I'm totally out of it. You probably won't recognize me. I'll look horrible. Yeah, I mean, a lot of women pack everything that they own for a one-day trip. But I'm just saying, she only went in there for 2.5 hours. And so maybe she just went in there to shower up or whatever, which is interesting, right? Because then, is she meeting up with somebody else to start her new life with? Because, I mean, here we go again. We don't know. And she probably turned off her phone, she could have. And maybe she just didn't like being in that lifestyle. Perhaps. Maybe she really wasn't mentally ill. I mean, there's a lot of maybes out there. We have to go with that she was mentally ill since they're reporting it. You think so? Maybe your room was unsatisfactory? Wow, yeah. Yeah, I didn't think of that one. And there's a good reason.
Next tonight, the desperate search for a missing mother of 3 from Kansas. Her husband trying to find her. Here's ABC's Zoreen Shah.
Tonight, authorities in an urgent search for a missing Kansas mom of 3 kids. Marilyn Carter was last seen 6 days ago in this surveillance video.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like she's bringing clothes to live for a while. So there's a couple options. She has a mental issue. She really was going to Alabama for treatment. She was bringing clothes to be staying there for the treatment. But then the ailment, took over on the trip and she took her own life. Or it was just a complete accident. Or she's meeting somebody else. The odds of somebody else abducting her or something like that are really low, given the fact that, she was just on a trip doing what she was doing. It just doesn't seem very likely in this case. Because there's other reasons that she was traveling, and they brought up the mental issues, so then you sort of go to that a little bit. Well, yeah, she was headed to Alabama, Birmingham. So I just pinned out the general location, so it would be... So that's where she was headed. And let's see. It said the last pinged in Memphis. So here's the part that's a little bit disconcerting, is that she does appear that she was heading there. Okay? So this is where she's from, right? And then she is last known to have pinged in Memphis on her way to Birmingham. So, the way to get there would have been Highway 22, right? So if you take Highway 22 out of here, she pinged in Memphis, you go down Highway 22, there's a river right there. Something could have happened to her. Still on Highway 22. Yeah, I mean... That's exactly the route you would take. Well, one of these routes here, like 25, whatever this is right here, you would continue on. It seems like it has different names in different areas, different numbers, I mean. But it says 22 there, and that's what would lead you into Birmingham. And she never made it. But her phone quit pinging near Memphis. So whatever happened to her, unless she intentionally turned off her phone, happened in that area. Yeah, I think it's definitely possible she may have just went to start a new life with somebody else, not liking sort of the, church lifestyle like that. Maybe she felt kind of restricted or something. I mean, that's a possibility. I mean, that's just maybe. I think, given that she had a mental issue and she seemed like she really was heading towards where she was going to get treatment, you sort of have to think that either something accidentally happened or she took her own life on that trip, given the mental illness. Those seem to be the most likely things. Okay? And given the fact that she had packed to go to... It looks like she had a lot of stuff packed in those bags. So given that, it seems like she had the intention to go to Birmingham. And then you say, well, then that would make it more likely to be an accident. However, somebody with mental illness, while they're driving, something could overcome them, and then they take their own life somewhere. Okay, so what do you guys think is, out of those two, her taking her own life or an accident, which one of those do you think is more likely? put a 1 for accident, 2 for the she took her own life. Okay. So, yeah, 1 made a nice little comeback there. It was weird how, like, 8 2s in a row and then 10 1s. So it looks like about 50-50 right there. You know, just eyeballing it. It's 36.
Hotel in Missouri.
Desperate search for a missing mother of 3 from Kansas. Her husband trying to find her. Here's ABC's Zoreen Shah.
Tonight, authorities in an urgent search for a missing Kansas mom of 3 kids. Marilyn Carter was last seen 6 days ago in this surveillance video entering a hotel in Missouri. Police pouring through the video for clues and asking for the public's help. They say she left the hotel just 3 hours after checking in. Her phone appearing to go dead near Memphis, Tennessee.
She's a mommy, and she has a mommy's heart. She would never do anything that would take her away from her family.
She told family she was driving to Birmingham, Alabama to help with her sister's new baby and get therapy for a sleeping problem before vanishing without a trace.
It's been hard, and all we can do is pray and keep looking.
Loved ones are praying outside of the church where her husband is the lead pastor and desperately searching.
If anyone out there sees it.
Yeah, so her husband's the lead pastor. It's weird, because she's from Kansas, and she stayed at a hotel in Missouri. But here's what's odd about that: is she left home at like 8:30, right? And then she's still in Missouri at 3 in the morning. I don't know how many. I mean, I guess that's possible. Maybe she stayed in Missouri, sort of down in this area, like, because the highway, the driving from here, from Kansas to Memphis, is weird. It doesn't look like there's a really like a straight shot anywhere. So you sort of wonder if she went like this down and she's still in Missouri down here, maybe over in this area somewhere. I don't know for sure. I don't have any, we might be able to find that. If you guys can figure out where exactly in Missouri, but maybe somewhere here, stays overnight, then she goes next morning down to Memphis, and then does the thing where you cut across to go down to the sister's place in Birmingham. Could even be way down here. It'd be interesting to know what time her phone pinged in Memphis.
Anything, if you see her, please report it.
Tom, her brother-in-law says tips are pouring in from all over the region. Authorities now focusing on the last area her phone was active. Tom?
Zoreen, thank you.
Right, that's great. But why don't you tell people where her phone was last active? Last spoke to family on Sunday near Memphis, Tennessee, before her phone went dead. So she spoke to family. I guess it doesn't really even matter where that hotel was, because we know she made it to Memphis. So when she was near Memphis here, she spoke to family, and then her phone went dead. And and there's waterways all around here. So when they say near Memphis, was she east or west of it? That would matter. What do you mean sketchy, Rebecca? I don't think it seems sketchy at all. The husband has nothing to do with it. You can see her on surveillance alone, so who else would have something to do with it? Normally you go, oh, the husband, or somebody like that. But she's actually alone, driving around in different places. So what's sketchy about it? Like, what parts started throwing you off here? Let's see. Well, she was seeking some mental health care, and she didn't want to go to any place in Kansas City, but she wanted to go to a place she was familiar with. Adam Carter, who works as a pastor in Kansas, told KMBC on Saturday. And then it says something about she made concerning statements. Okay, her husband, Adam Carter, told Kansas City ABC affiliate that his wife spent about 3 hours at the Missouri hotel before leaving and was speaking to her when her phone died. Oh, wow. So he was actually talking to her, and then the phone died. So that's a little interesting because that doesn't mean that she turned it off. It means that it died. Maybe it ran out of juice. Maybe. She didn't bring a charger, which a lot of people do. But she's been gone too long now for that to, make any difference. She should have been able to. Or right at that moment is when something happened to her, but she didn't scream or anything, obviously. Or, we don't know that, but he didn't say that. What says near I-50? What are you talking about? What do you mean it says? I don't know what you're referring to. You just type in a full sentence so I can just read it. Yeah, right here it says, the Overland Park Police said she made concerning statements to her family and has not been heard from since later Sunday, August 2nd. What do you mean about the phone call cut off again? What do you mean it cut off again? It just says it cut off once. It doesn't say again somewhere. What's going on here? She gave her... Yeah, we heard that part earlier on one of the stories, Deborah. Well, this is our second show, Christy Paradis. The first show was a bizarre one. It was just purely a YouTube
Dang,
mind
did I miss
meld.
the Kit Kat donation? Wave woman surfing.
Yeah, I don't know where the gas station was, but apparently that's one of the last places.
Next tonight, the desperate search for a...
Was last seen 6 hotel...
And she has a mommy's heart. She would...
This Tennessee.
She's a mommy. And
her phone appearing to go dead.
Okay, so I wonder if they're intentionally putting that ping right there. I've noticed a lot of times when they put these dots on news articles and whatnot, they're almost never accurate.
Dead near Memphis, Tennessee.
She's a mommy. And she has a mommy's heart. She's a mommy. And she has a...
Checking in. Her phone appearing to go dead near Memphis, Tennessee.
She's a mommy.
Yeah, but then why'd you highlight
She has a mommy's
Missouri?
heart. She would never do anything that would take her away from her family.
She told family she was driving to Birmingham, Alabama to help with her sister's new baby and get therapy for a sleeping problem.
Yeah, or she never actually asked for the $10 and there's people out there, oh, we saw her, because they want it, We just don't know. Yeah, now, that's the first thought you have, though. If she literally was asking for $10, you'd think to yourself, well, why didn't she just use her own debit card? And then you realize that, at that point, that gives some evidence that she's running away from a situation. And maybe there's somebody in the Birmingham area or somebody out in that direction that she was, quote, familiar with, that she knew from before. And maybe she's, you know, wanting to go see that person, right? Okay, that's where the gas station was. All right, let's just type that in. I'll just trust that you got that right. Really? So it wasn't even... It was in Mississippi then. Just south of Memphis. So where was she going then? Why didn't she take this way to go to Birmingham? So she's heading down like this? That doesn't make any sense. Well, let's just put it this, well, that county could be bigger than what I'm saying. Hold on a second. It's these green boxes here. Okay, so it could be anywhere. I think right here, though. So in this area here, south of Memphis. There's 55 right there. Yeah, well, it doesn't really matter that much, though, right? I mean, it'd be cool to know what highway it was, though, because she made it here to this area, and then you could sort of try to figure out if there's a place where... I'm a little bit confused, though, if it's over here, because that's not how you would get to Birmingham, which is over there. It looks like you would obviously take this route. All of these are way longer, you know, adding, 20, 35, 40 miles. Yeah, that's what we were saying early on, Rebecca. That she could just be leaving to start a new life, not liking... You remember that one case that we had? Seemed like it was about a year ago, where there was that weird sort of... I don't know what kind of religion it was, but the wife and a daughter, they went missing. And it seemed like the husband was just... that he did something to them. But we just were never really sure. And then it turns out that they just tried to get away from him because he was abusive. And that's one of the theories that we had. And then they actually came back. And do you guys remember that at all? So this could be something similar to that. We don't know what her situation was. And we don't know for sure if... when the family says she made concerning statements, well, let us hear what the statements were, because she could be making statements that the family deems concerning because it doesn't fit within what they believe in their religion. Okay, so it could be sort of this religious sort of, she was speaking in tongues, she was crazy, blah blah, some bull crap. We don't really know. Now, if you tell me she said, okay, I'm going to kill myself, something like that, then, okay, that's concerning. But if she was like, I don't like being here anymore, I want to go. Oh, wow, those are concerning statements. Well, right, she doesn't want to be with you. So it could be something as simple as that. Yeah. Anyways, let's see. I don't know. No, but his friends do it not to avoid the cameras, to avoid the paying the tolls. Only people that care about... Let's see. Is there a Highway 45? I don't know. Why are you asking, Darlene? Type in the reason. Don't just sort of, Is there a Highway 45 there? I don't know. I mean, what's the reason you want to know if there's a Highway 45? There's one over here. And it goes down through here. Yeah, there's Tupelo right there. I'm saying the hotel footage is... Okay. Good for you, William. I don't agree. Alright, I'm almost going to just disagree with you as a default. Because you're just throwing out whatever. I've been saying the hotel footage is West Plains, Missouri. Well, how do you know? You know, it's... But let me look at the... I wonder if there's any sort of hint in the clear version. Okay, well, I don't have the article, so when you say it's in an article, I don't know what that means. Okay. Alright, let's see where that is. Okay, so that's kind of where they had that pin on that one. Yeah. So just say why, like, you go like this. In an article, it says this, then I can believe you. If you just say, I've been saying it's, I'm not going to believe you. Okay, give me some kind of evidence, send me a link, or say that you just read in an article that it says something. Okay, I was thinking it was maybe more over there, but let's see, where would she do it? There you go. There's Chloe starting it up. I bet this one looks like that might be it. Just visually. Ah, got it. Looked like it had that little overhang thing. Ah. Yeah, that was Guild Chloe for you. It's weird, 'cause I'm looking for this thing right here. See how it's got the little a pole white thing, and then that one's pretty close. See, except it was green. I don't know. She just plays with Blue when he doesn't feel like playing a lot. I don't think she bullies him. Blue just puts up with it. No, thanks, Pamela. Not gonna do it. Okay, let's see. The surest way for me not to do something is when somebody tells you to do something. Doesn't happen. How come that one sort of looks... Let me look at that again. So you got... This one could be it. I don't know, I don't see that thing, but... Let me see. Is this here or anything? I don't see that, but like see these... Let's see if we got that little... If all of that looks the same. The downspout and that and... I mean, there is a downspout there, and there's a... What do you think? Yeah, I don't see the bushes, but this is also 2016. Okay? This is 4 years ago. But I do see, like, you know... Let's check out this cement block down here. Okay, there's no bushes. You got this. I don't see this either. Let's see if there's a pole right there. I mean, God, pretty weird. Okay, how about across the street? Yeah, I don't know. It has similar pillars there, but maybe they all have that. Are you saying it's a Quality Inn? That's the one I was at originally. I mean, it has the little... well, I don't think I was ever at this one here. So you're saying... this does look like this could be it. Because I'm seeing that blue... this thing right here. Well, no, I was here earlier. So you think that this could be it then? Yeah, there you go. You got that. The bushes. How come that doesn't look the same though? Oh, it's almost the same color. So that is it. That is it. Wasn't I at this one? I don't think I was though, because it was different color on that. Yeah, I can just tell this is it at this point, because you can see the even the bushes, everything match up right there. The bushes, that thing. You've got the downspout, you've got the Quality Inn sign that looks a lot like that sign. Let's see, where did she park? Well, it seems like she's was parked like right there, but that'd be kind of a weird place to park, right? Okay, that right there looks like this. It's the only thing that looks like that. So that means that the car is parked. Probably. So I think it is parked right here. That's it. They just don't have the, if you go down to the street view, you can see that they put the lines in right there. See? They weren't there. You can't see them from the air though. See that? The lines. So I think she was parked right there, then walked in. Okay, so now we've got the quality in. Thank you for whoever said that it was the quality in. Okay, now where's the gas station that she stopped at? Does anybody know that? Did an article have quality in it, or did I go there and just blew right by it? What's this one say? So when you put a link in, what was the reason for putting the link in, KitKat? You know, one thing though, if she was leaving to start another life, would she really leave her kids? I don't know. Most parents wouldn't do that, but maybe she was just so miserable. A way station? Okay, let's see. And where was that approximately? That last location? It was near Memphis, right? Okay, well, if he went down this direction, like people were saying in that county, then this is a way station right here. Because I think that's that same county that was mentioned a little bit ago. See? DeSoto County, there's only one way station, it looks like, in that county. So do you think that's it right there? Okay. Okay, let's see. It's called Arkansas Way Station. Let's see. I don't know. I don't see it. Oh, maybe that's it right there. So right here. Oh, well that makes it a little bit, see that's probably why people are trying to check the river at this point. Maybe that call didn't go well and then she just... I mean there's lakes, ponds, rivers all over the place. Doesn't sounds like her communication just stopped right after that. Okay, and that makes sense because it's near Memphis. Okay. What case is this one? Angela and Alexis Jolly. That was weird. Alright, what else we got? That could be an accident. We don't know. Could have killed herself, accident, or left with somebody. Or decided to leave. Right. Okay, a Kansas mother of 3 who left home more than a week ago to visit family in Alabama and to seek mental health treatment has vanished without a trace, leading to a multi-state search aimed at bringing her home. Marilyn Carter, 36, of Overland Park, was last seen by family on the night of August 1st. She was spotted the next morning in surveillance footage as she checked into out of a hotel in West Plains, Missouri. Her husband, who serves as lead pastor of Leawood Baptist Church in Leawood, Kansas, told KMBC in Kansas City that she spent about 3 hours at the hotel, more like 2.5, before getting back in her gray 2011 GMC Acadia. Carter was speaking to her husband when her cell phone apparently cut out. But what would be really interesting is to know what that conversation was about. Carter is about 5'8", and weighs 130 pounds, was last seen wearing a green t-shirt, black yoga pants, and a cap. Police and Carter's family have been searching the area of Interstate 55 over the Mississippi River in Memphis, where her cell phone last pinged. Law enforcement also conducted an air search of a 4-mile radius around where that last ping registered. The missing woman... Well, the thing is it went dead, though. See, unless the husband said, oh my God, she was panicking and went dead, then it just could mean the phone died and absolutely have nothing... It sounds like it went dead during their conversation. But it could have just ran out of juice, right? And then it has nothing to do with looking in the water right there. At that point, you can't track her anymore. Maybe, but, if it got... Wouldn't she scream or something? If she went flying off a bridge into the water? Or say something? Like, oh my God! It sounds like they were just having a normal conversation and the phone died. So you gotta think of stuff like that when you're sort of coming up with a theory. Well, not always, Gray. Maybe it just surprised her. Oh, really? Why do you have the word in there, CC? Every time someone puts that in there, I always just wonder what they're doing. Yeah, well, the thing is some people don't look at the battery power. They just put the phone in their pocket and start driving and then realize, holy crap, I don't have enough juice in my phone at some point. Or you thought you charged it. Like, I've actually had times where I plugged my phone in, but then the plug part of it in the wall wasn't plugged in, and then I grabbed the phone and I think, okay, it's fully charged, and then I take off and it's just dead. Yeah, CC. Oh boy. Yeah, so did you plant the flowers? Goes into the creek. Come on, will you? Jesus. Now, here's the thing is she could have done that, and maybe the husband's hiding what she was saying on the phone. We don't know. He seems like they're checking the waters. He seems like feels like it's a good chance. He's looking for people that have bass boats with sonar on them. The fishing, or whatever you call those. The fishing things. Yeah, it's a weird one. We've had a few of these. Remember that one about 2 years ago where there was that college student that went missing? And man, we almost nailed it completely. I was looking up and down the highway, and I even put a pin on the exact area, and I go, well, maybe. And she did something wrong, went off the edge of the road and flew into a canal and drowned. And that's where they found her. Had nothing to do with, she wasn't suicidal, she wasn't anything. I think it was in Florida somewhere. Who's he? I don't know. He probably, because he's probably thinking that her phone, she was depressed. Either she got in an accident or she killed herself, and they're looking in the water for her vehicle. He wasn't with her though, so he's not a nefarious actor. I mean, he wasn't there doing something to her. How far? I must be on. Hold on, let me check something. Am I on slow playback? No? Some of you guys are answering questions from like 45 seconds ago. She left from her home. I think she lives in Overland Park, Kansas. And then she's heading to Birmingham, Alabama. Apparently, she stayed at a Quality Inn right there. Then she made it down to near this Arkansas way station. And she was heading to Birmingham, which is right here. So she only made it to this area. And I guess they're checking in this river here, thinking that either she accidentally did something. I mean, how would that work? Let's take a look at it. Hey, thanks, Josette Tharp.
Thank you, Gray, for always great content, and I love the freak community.
Yeah, I mean, hell, even William
God bless
Zambrano.
you all.
Even William Zambrano helps out every once in a while. Normally, I just go, oh, crap, and disprove it, but he did have the correct town. Okay? We'll give him that. She was going to Birmingham for, one of the articles said something like to visit her sister's baby, but then the other one said that she was going there for mental health issues. So that's a little bit interesting. Thanks, Kit Kat and Zozo. So is the term quality
donation
incorrect?
wave, woman raising hand, open mouth smile.
Maybe not call it a Quality Inn. Thanks, Zozo and Dottie Caspian Horses Rock. Right, but I just want to see if I'm trying to eliminate the accidental thing, Darlene. It's pretty obvious. Yeah, anybody can drive however they want to into a river if they feel like it. Yeah. Da-da-da-da. Yeah, so here's this part of it right here. It doesn't look like it would be easy just to sort of fly off the bridge, right? Then you make it to the other side. And then how about over here? Well, that's Okay, so that would be almost impossible to go off of that. So if she is in the water there, it would have to be intentional. To me, it feels like it. This area here is a little bit... would make you a little nervous here. This whole muddy, murky... Be tough to go off of that, though. So. Thanks, Sarita. Yeah, it looks pretty swampy. Well, let me check this out. What if she
Great
accidentally...
night, love mysteries. No offense to me. Open
Holy
mouth
shit.
smile.
What if she just took that accidentally and thought this was a freeway, leaving in the morning? It's pretty bright light outside, but she's just humming down this. What time of year was? Did you guys see that? So let's say she's going really fast down here. Well, look. Well, let me just go up in the air again. Let me show you this. Look. There was a certain time of year, it's just water. It's crazy. I don't know if that was just sort of some random flood. And that was... Let's see what time of year. That's March 2018. Okay, that's what it normally looks like in August. And we're in August right now. So, you know, maybe she drove down there and... But that's crazy that it flooded like that. Did you see that? I mean, maybe there were some unusual amounts of rain or something. And so what do you do when you drive down? So you go underneath it. Yeah, but yet it's still a road you can take. So whether it's old or not doesn't matter, right? So it seems like it's just sort of a way to turn around if you have to. You're like, oh shit, and then you... Well, not really, because it doesn't seem like you're... You can only get to there if you're over here. They should have made it where you can actually exit the freeway. So I don't know how she would have got down onto this. Because she would have probably been on 55, right? Right there. And apparently she was near this way station here. So if she made it to there, then she would have kept going. Her phone died. The thing is, the problem here is that her phone appeared to have died naturally. That's the way it's worded. And if that happens, there's no way in hell to actually know where her phone would have last pinged had it not died, right? Do you get what I'm saying? So we're all... The red herring right now could be the... oh, you had some big storms last week? The red herring could just be that the phone died right there, so everybody's assuming that she went in the water right then. But you sort of wonder why the husband thinks that. There must have been something else on the call that made him think that that would be a possibility, because it seems like you wouldn't just jump right to that. You go, oh yeah, her phone died, and then you wouldn't immediately go, well, her phone last pinged there, but the phone died, and then, oh, her car must have gone into the water. That doesn't really make any sense, right? So this is becoming the phone not pinging, or turning off right there is turning into the red shirt in the Molly Tibbetts case. Early on. Right. Yeah, it's hard to know for sure. But was her concerning comments made on that phone call? that would be interesting to know. And were they something like, I don't want to be with you anymore. I'm out of here. And then, oh, she made concerning comments. Let's check the rivers. I'll look like the guy that really, who the hell knows what's going on here. We've done enough cases now where sometimes you just don't get to know the answers until there's answers. There isn't really a lot of facts here other than a few things. They say that she has mental issues. And she was heading down to Alabama to see a mental health facility there, get treatment. And then we know that people say that her phone died in this certain area, but it was during a phone call, not like it just, you heard an abrupt scream or, so it's just not a lot of hard facts here. Not a lot of hard facts. Yeah, I mean, it'd be pretty obvious if she went into the water off the bridge there. Okay, but I'm all sort of done. I don't really have any more information to put out on this one. So I was going to switch over to something else, if that's okay. But if you guys find any new information, send me an email with that, and we can talk about it again tomorrow. So hold on a second. I'm gonna go use the facilities myself.
We love you, Blue.
Sleuthy Chrissy Paradis is circling things on the pastor's face, his pimples that he has. And apparently those are marks of some sort. But listen, here's what we know, is that even if they got in a fight beforehand, she left on her. She was by herself. So that's all that matters, even if they got in a fight or something like that. Nice try, though. Nice try. Yeah, I know you sent those, Rebecca. I already have all of the location stuff of the house. Okay, it's it's in a different room. Okay, I even know the number and everything. Okay, so I didn't need your help on that one. Just assume that I've got everything. If I ask you guys for locations like I did on this show, let me know. Okay, thanks. So now I'm going to get off the toilet here and
Just emailed photos of Oak Ridge murder home.
yeah,
Grimace.
I know. I already had it. Thanks. Let's see. Where do we got here? Okay. So now we're going to move on to the Rebecca Paxton murder. Okay, so this Oak Ridge couple here was charged in the brutal death, rape, and torture of a woman.
Couple in a gruesome murder. And before I go any further, I need to pause and warn you, details outlined in court paperwork are appalling. At midday today, we told you Oak Ridge police had found a body at a home on Fairview Avenue and that 2 people were arrested. This is a look at the home. Since then, we've learned that the victim's body was stuffed. Since then,
right there, this one.
The victim's body was stuffed into a freezer and parts of the body had been removed. You're looking at the 2 suspects there. According to the warrants for 2 charged, Sean Finnegan and Rebecca Dishman. We don't know the victim's name yet, but according to documents, Finnegan and Dishman admitted to an investigator that they lured the victim into the home with the promise of a place to stay, then attacked her with a baseball bat, tortured, raped, and strangled her. Also, in this...
Can you believe that? Like, she was moved in, or she moved in with them. They promised her a place to stay in December. And then they, like, handcuffed her and beat her with a bat, mutilate. I mean, it's just absolutely, that's crazy.
This is according to the warrants. The couple admitted to...
Well, let's just read these. Victim, okay, they have the name now, though. Lured with promise of a place to stay, attacked with a bat, tortured, strangled, admitted abusing the corpse, broke bones, and then broke the bones so that they could stuff the body in the freezer.
Abusing the corpse, even breaking bones to get the body into a freezer. One of their neighbors who tells us she spent time with Finnegan and Dishman, telling us she never expected this.
I hung out with him, hung out with Becca. Me and Becca become best friends. He was a pretty good person. I mean, he really put on a show for everybody. I mean, he was nice, always helping his mom, you know, helping us at times, you know. He was a good person.
Mahogany Peacock, who you just heard from, going on to say she saw police arresting Finnegan.
Here's something that's kind of weird is...
She then saw investigators...
Like, see this right here? I actually found her on Facebook. And she doesn't really look like that. No, that's not the one. Hold on just a second. I was in the wrong folder. Okay, there we go. Yeah. But I'm almost 100% sure this is her, even though it doesn't look like that at all. Or, you know, when I say it. But look, that is her. And you can see right there on the eyebrow. You see how the eyebrow goes like that, and then down, and then up like that. That's exactly right there. And it's the same name and everything, and same age. Everything's the same. It's just old. Her last stuff was from 2017. So, and it looks like she's, you know, put on a couple extra pounds and whatnot. Oh, Gray, there you go again. You're fat shaming. No, I'm not. I'm just saying she looked a little different. So these are all from like 2017, but look, I mean, you know, something a little strange going on here, right? And her name isn't very common. Yeah, see, like that one you can kind of see it. That last one you can see it more. Ah, shit, I lost it. Yeah, like even that like right there. See that one there, you can kind of see it. You know, the big forehead, it parted in the correct spot and everything. And her full name is Rebecca Elizabeth Dishman, and that's who this is. I mean, the odds of that there being another one in the same town and everything, it's not very high. Yeah. So Oak Ridge police responded to a possible homicide call in the 300 block of East Fairview Road. Let me go to this one. And oh, that's where she once lived. This is at number 318, right here at this residence. Yeah, so it's back on this side right here. It's right in there. I think this unit right there, 318. And there's four different like houses there. So I guess what Rebecca sent in, she just sent me photographs of it, but I had already found it. You know, I'm just saying that I don't know if her photographs are of value. We'll check them out. So that's the same building. Yeah, so it's gonna be like right in there. I think it's 318, I think, is that one. Right there. So, there you go. Isn't that crazy? Like, you have these neighbors sitting around, and they're just going... I mean, they live right next door. They must have heard something during the torturing. You know, I guess maybe they did it late at night or, you know, during the day when nobody was around. I don't know when. How long was she in the freezer for, though? Because that was in December when she moved in. You know? Was there ever a time when she was walking around? That's 8 months ago. MUNTS. During a search, they found the body. Oak Ridge Police, SWAT, and members of the 7th Judicial Crime Task Force were able to execute a search warrant obtained by police and District Attorney General Dave Clark's office for the residence around 4:30 a.m. Thursday. During the search, they found the body of 36-year-old woman. The identity of the woman is being withheld pending notification. That was at the time. So Sean Finnegan, 52, and Rebecca Dishman, 22. Like they were a couple with, I mean, a huge disparity in years there. According to the warrants, Finnegan and Dishman lured the woman into the residence with the promise of a place to stay in December of 2019. Once at the home, the two held the woman against her will with restraints, attacked her with a baseball bat, tortured, raped, deprived her of food and medical care, strangled her to death, and left her broken body in a stand-up freezer, the warrant said. Knowing that a police investigation may take place, the couple used cleaning products to remove evidence from the home and the victim's body. Finnegan also removed the body from the freezer and hid it under a bed while he attempted to clean evidence from the freezer. Jesus. Finnegan and, I mean, how do you know, see that? Let's just say she died accidentally. I'm just going to throw it out there. Obviously that didn't happen. But let's just say it. And let's say they did all these things. They should get life in prison, too. Because that's what I'm saying. It's like, to be able to do these kinds of things to bodies, it just shows an absolute, a total depravity and a lack of just even being a human. Finnegan and Dishman each face charges of first-degree murder. Okay, Finnegan and... let's see. Knowing that a police investigation may take place, the couple used cleaning products to remove... Finnegan also removed the body from the freezer and hid it under his bed. He attempted to clean evidence from the freezer. Finnegan and Dishman admitted to these facts after Miranda arrest warrants show. That's amazing. So, they're toast. I'm innocent. I plead insanity. Finnegan and Dishman each face charges of first-degree murder, aggravated kidnapping, abuse of a corpse, and tampering with evidence. Finnegan faces additional aggravated rape and abuse of corpse charges. Dishman faces additional aggravated sexual battery and tampering with evidence charges. Both suspects remain in jail, and the investigation is ongoing.
About the charges against an Oak Ridge couple. And before we go any further, I want to pause. I want to warn you. Get the kids out of the room. The details outlined in court paperwork are nothing short of appalling. I'll pause for just a moment. At midday today, we told you Oak Ridge police had found a body at a home on Fairview Avenue and that 2 people were arrested. Well, since then, we have learned that the victim's body was stuffed into a freezer and parts of the body have been cut off. That's according to warrants for the 2 charged, Sean Finnegan and Rebecca Dishman. There are their mugshots. We don't know the victim's name, but according to documents, Finnegan and Dishman admitted to an investigator that they lured the victim into the home with a promise of a place to stay, then attacked.
Hey, by the way, everybody, hit the damn like button. Jesus.
I'm tired of
hit the like button, 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 hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button, hit the like button. But don't subscribe if you don't like the way I do my show. Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button.
Now 5, I'm 35.
Okay, now listen, subscribe to the channel if you like the way I do my show. If you don't like the way I do my show, don't subscribe to the channel. Isn't that a novel idea? It's amazing. But anyways, go ahead and hit that like button really quick. If I don't see it up to 200, we can't continue the show because there's 335 watching. Now, even if you have to hit the dislike button, that would be great. You know, hit the dislike button if you don't like it, but do something for God's sakes. Yeah, as soon as that hits 200, let me know. We'll get going again. Yeah, it's hard to know. I don't know if she's done it before, but he might have done it before. She's only 22. And, you know, that was 8 months ago. Let me know when we get to 200, everybody. It's up to you to get the show going again. Da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, she'll be 47 when she gets out. Yep. I see 190. That's it. One more time.
I'm tired of
hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 65, 75, 85, 99, 100, 120, 30, 25, 30. You want to put 30, sir? 25 of them, you're out. I'm 25, 30, 30, 35. Up, went to 198. Some idiot just hit the dislike button. Okay, now we just got to 202. Okay, great.
Attacked her with a baseball bat.
Now we'll rewind it again.
Freezer and parts of the body have been cut off. That's according to warrants for the two charged, Sean Finnegan and Rebecca Dishman. There are their mugshots. We don't know the victim's name, but according to documents, Finnegan and Dishman admitted to an investigator that they lured the victim into the home with a promise of a place to stay, then attacked her with a baseball bat, tortured, raped, and strangled her. According to the warrants, the couple also admitted to abusing the corpse, even breaking bones to get the body into a freezer. Dishman and Finnegan face a slate of charges, including murder, kidnapping, and aggravated sexual battery.
Yeah, wow.
Donations for likes, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up.
And that's the woman that was killed right there. She actually, there is a image of her that I found online. That's her too, by the way. It looks different, but I'm pretty sure that's her. If you look at the part and the thick eyebrows, and this is just she was arrested for drinking in public, but it's a full name is exactly the same and the same town, so that's got to be her. It's different times, and she was homeless at the time, and then they took her in, and just as barbarians do, they killed her. Look at these guys. If you see somebody that looks like that, run the other direction. Alright? My God. Yeah, it doesn't matter about... It's the same person, I think. It's weird how people... I just explained to you a second ago. Love Honeycrisp apples. Yeah, you see...
How do you like them, Honeycrisp?
She obviously has highlights and colored her hair in that one. In this one, she didn't. Okay? And it's a whole different angle. She's not looking down and out. Okay? Now, you think there's another Jennifer Gale Paxton living in the same county? Give me a break, okay? Same age, everything. Look. 36. Thanks, Allison R. Right. So this right here, those pictures you see of her on Facebook are from 4 years ago. She looked different. But it's her. Okay. So I don't really have much more to add to this one. Maybe we can, I think this might have a...
Our top story, we are learning more tonight now about a gruesome murder in Oak Ridge.
You already
want to
watched
first
this one?
remind our viewers this information we've gathered from official paperwork is extremely disturbing. The investigation beginning early Thursday morning. That's when Oak Ridge police found the body of a 36-year-old woman.
Hey, it's Crystal, a.k.a. Beaver Gaming Sub Crystal.
They found the body stuffed in a freezer with parts of the body removed.
Now, police taking these two into custody, Sean Finnegan and Rebecca Dishman, are facing now a slew of charges, including murder, kidnapping, and abuse of a corpse. Police say the couple lured the woman to their home in December.
Probably not Christina.
By offering her a place
Maybe a
to
couple
stay.
pepperonis.
They held the victim against her will. The victim was tortured, raped, left without food or medical care,
No, so maybe it was
attacked with
the
a baseball
far one.
bat, and then strangled.
318.
New at 6, reporter Blake Stevens joins us in the studio. Blake, what more do we know about this case?
Well, Madison, this isn't the first time Finnegan has faced charges like these. Through a background check requested from the TBI, we learned Finnegan was charged with aggravated kidnapping and
Told you.
rape 5 years.
See, I would say, I bet you the guy definitely has a history. He's done it before, but she might not because she's only 22 years old.
To go in Blount County.
Wow.
Today, we're hearing from neighbors describing the horror in their community. One neighbor who spent time with Finnegan and Dishman saying she never expected anything like this. She watched Thursday morning as investigators removed evidence from the house.
You could see flashes and stuff through the windows, the lights coming through. It took them about an hour before they brought him out. And when they brought him out, he had no expression. He was just there. There was no anger, no sad, no happiness. He was just there and staring.
Yeah, I think we saw that one earlier, but yeah, well, that's a crazy one. I'm glad that there was an arrest made in it, but I thought I'd let you guys know. I mean, this is probably one of the more disturbing cases that have come about recently. It's kind of similar to the guy that Kevin Bacon, right? Remember Kevin Bacon, who was a guy, I think he was met another guy on Tinder, and he goes over to his house, he's drugged, he was hung upside down, his I think his testicles or whatever, it was all cut off. The guy ate him, and two other people had escaped from his house at one point. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Kevin Bacon. No, but Kevin Bacon from Footloose did do a tweet about it because he felt bad for the guy. I guess it'd be kind of weird if Kevin Bacon was dismembered and then you guys typed in Footloose.
Story we're following today. This one is so disturbing. Charges against an Oak Ridge couple in a gruesome murder. And before I go any further, I need to pause and warn you, details outlined in court paperwork are appalling. At midday, we told you Oak Ridge police had found a body at a home on Fairview Avenue and that 2 people were arrested.
Okay.
This is...
All right. Well, anyways, this one is very disturbing. And, you know, I wouldn't mind if somebody can find the warrant on that, let me know. Okay? Because I want to read it. And I want to read it on the show. So obviously the warrant it's out there, and if you guys somebody can find it, send it to me. Okay, so you know what I want to do next now is I want to go read the, in her words, Casey Anthony talks to AP about Kaylee's death. And I want to see how many of you believe anything she's saying here. So this is WFLA right here. Okay, and it's in the links in the description. So Casey Anthony, the Florida woman accused, blah 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 blah. So here's the questions down there. Lying, Anthony. Let's see. The Associated Press. Were you convicted of one thing? Oh, it doesn't seem like a question. There's no question. And then she says, lying to cops. People lie to cops every day. Cops lie to people every day. You know, like, look at, people lie to cops every day. Cops lie to people every day. I'm just one of the unfortunate idiots who admitted they lied. No, it wasn't that. They actually caught you in your lies because you're an idiot. Your whole Zaina Gonzalez, whatever the hell her freaking name was, Zaida, wasn't it Zaida or what the hell was it? Yeah, all that crap was just complete bullshit, right? Wasn't it Zaina? What the hell was her name? Oh yeah, Zanny the Nanny, right. Oh, there you go. Zenaida. That's what it was. It was Zenaida. Yep, I got it before Nan Sullivan did. On my end. You probably don't think of it like that. But yeah, it was Zanny the Nanny, but it was Zenaida Gonzalez. And I get it. Yeah, we know. I got it, everybody. Nope, you were not first, Christina Kubitschek. You were not first. You said Zanny. I was looking for the real name. So look at, was the lying out of panic? My dad was a cop. You can read into that what you want to. Oh, so I learned to lie from my cop because remember, cops lie to people every day. What an idiot. She's just as dumb now as she ever was. She is one of the stupidest people that have ever lived. Just an IQ of a snail. I mean, if she was staring at a snail on the ground, she would probably start crying because she'd be overwhelmed with the intelligence of the snail. Okay, she is an idiot. All right, my touching on the convicted. Let's see, touching on the convicted for lying. Is there anything you regret with that? Would you rather get your story straight from the beginning? What didn't you keep straight? And then Anthony said, here's the problem. Even if I would have told them everything that I eventually told to the psychologists who evaluated me, the 2 psychologists who evaluated me over the course of 3 years, I hate to say this, but I firmly believe I would still have been in the same place. Because cops believe other cops. Cops tend to victimize the victims. I've never tried to make myself a victim. I see why I was treated the way I was. You mean because you went to a bar and were partying it up after your child was dead and you knew it? Yeah, there's a good reason for that. What weren't you truthful about? It was things that I didn't know at the time. About how she died? I didn't know at the time. I'm still not even certain. Wait, hold on. Maybe I can do it this way. Let's try to do it this way.
Alright.
Do you understand how did she die?
I don't know.
What about drowning?
Everyone has their theories. I don't know. As I stand here today,
And this part will be read by by Mary Lou. Mary Lou will be playing the part of the idiot Casey Anthony. And the AP will be played by John Boy.
To your understanding, how did she die?
I don't know.
What about drowning?
Everyone has their theories. I don't know. As I stand here today, I can't tell you one way or another. The last time I saw my daughter, I believed that she was alive and was going to be okay. And that's what was told to me.
She was being babysat. With your parents?
No, my father told me she was going to be okay. That she was okay.
So your parents had her?
My dad did. My mom was at work.
The next thing you know, she is missing. How did it play out?
I did what I was told. I don't remember too much of what happened. Again, there were several psychological evaluations. Even after everything transpired, even months, even within a year, I don't have personal knowledge of these things because, and this isn't my belief, I read the evaluations. I wasn't present during whatever happened. If I was, something would have showed up. There would be some recollection. There would be some memory. I was living at home with my parents. What I remember is every day we had a routine. And whether it was the day I was working or not working, Kaylee and I got up, had breakfast, and whoopity! We said goodbye to my mom between 7 and 7:30 in the morning.
Hey, don't throw those little ad-libs in there, okay? Okay, Mary Lou?
Okay.
Give me the situation when things went wrong. All of a sudden, is it like, where is Kaylee? Is that how it went?
No, what I remember is being in bed and my mom coming in before she left for work, and I saying goodbye to us, and then waking up several hours later not knowing where she was.
Don't you wish you know what happened?
Absolutely. Absolutely every single day, don't you know?
It's just a blank spot? What the hell happened? What the hell happened, Casey?
It's not even that it's something that's outside of me. That if I knew what at this point, if I knew what actually happened, I'd be able to fill in those blanks. I've done enough research. I've done enough psychology seminars. I've been tested. I've gone to the psychological evaluations, talked about this to the point where I've been in a puddle and not able to talk about it for days afterwards. She is still the central part of my life, the central part of my being. Always will be. I am blessed enough to have another child. If I'd be dumb enough to bring another kid into this rotten world, knowing that there'd be potential, that some jackass, their little snot-nosed kid would then something mean to my kid, I don't think I could live with that.
Wow. You're freaking nuts.
Well, hey, thank you very, very much, Mary Lou and John Boy for your dramatic reading of that. It was absolutely fantastic. Yeah, hopefully there was more to it than that. Oh my God, she's an absolute whack job. I mean, she doesn't even sort of say where she was or anything. What are you blaming it on your dad now? It's unreal. Although that would be exactly what you did at trial. Jesus. Okay, now today we're going over to the Crystal Rogers case. The police were actually out on a location. The FBI, actually. So let me go back to... right there. Right. So the police actually went out to Lookout Court. This little development right here. And it's kind of weird because if you type in 117 Lookout Court, this happens to be... I didn't know why they were on that street. Neither did the person that was doing a live show, but Cass Lynn that lives there, she said that I think it was Brooks and Nick's sister lived on this street at this 117 Lookout Court during that time. So that's pretty interesting, don't you think? So anyways, when you type in 117 Lookout Court, it puts a pin right here. Okay, but that's not even the right spot. The 117 Lookout Court, if you go to Zillow, is here. And what's strange is if you go back to... Okay, so watch this. So April 4th, 2013, there's no house right there. But this is where Google puts 117 Lookout Court. If you go to 119 Lookout Court on Google, it looks like it's this house right here. However, if you go down to Street View here and you look at it, this house right here is 117 Lookout Court on Zillow and all the other sites, okay? So whatever house, this Street View is 2008. So whatever house this is right here that was listed at 117 wasn't built until between April and October of 2013. So I don't know if Zillow's wrong or Google's wrong, okay? And it's not just Zillow, it's another site too. So anyways, they were on the street, and there's video of them walking up and down. Like, here's the... She's out there talking, and I'm just looking around.
A SUV, and at this moment they are all...
Yeah, like FBI agents walking around. And
right.
And they're also wondering.
While I go grab something
They're
else
asking
here.
people if they saw the child of Crystal and Brooks in this area that night. That's why they're canvassing around. And so, you know, maybe that suggests that they have information that the child wasn't with Brooks or Crystal that night.
We're gonna be on ABC! Let's go.
Yeah, so there's a lot. So there you go. There's a couple FBI agents right there. And they go to somebody's house. So they are this guy here is filming that house. So I wonder, let's see what house he's looking at. I don't think it's that one. He seems to be, I think they're a little bit further up here in the shot. I think he's filming this one right there for some reason. Yeah, it kind of looks like maybe that one. And these trees, this is 2008, right? So these trees would be a lot bigger. So maybe that's what that is. I mean, I'm just looking at the porch there with the white pillars. Could be this one over here too, though. Because I do know that they actually have... Yeah, maybe it's this one. Let's see. Not that it matters. Yeah, I think that's it right there. And then there's two new homes right there since 2008. They're just not even on. See, you can see that they're building one there, and there's another satellite image that Zillow had that has a house here and right there. But man, these houses are only like $200,000, man. If that house was in my neighborhood, it'd be $600, easy. Any one of those. Sometimes I always think, God, man, I should just move. I can work from home anywhere. My wife's a nurse. She can go anywhere. What do you mean, where's Curious? I don't know. She's just not here right now. Well, it looks like some of these neighborhoods are pretty cool. I mean, well, maybe not that one. So anyways, they're out looking around. They're definitely on something here. I think the FBI, it's too bad the FBI didn't get involved 3 years ago. But I think finding the body is a big deal. We still don't have confirmation yet. But I think that's why they're still there. No, she was here last night. Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't really have any more to add to the stories that we've talked about, but some crazy shit going on out there, right? Missing person case of Marilane Carter, Rebecca Paxton, killed by barbarians, Casey Anthony, absolute moron, and update in the Crystal Rogers with the FBI canvassing some streets, specifically, because I thought it was weird, right? Like, what would they be searching this street here? And I didn't have a clue, and neither did the person that was there. But Kathleen said, well, no, that's where Brooke's house sister lived. And I looked it up, and yep, she lived at her husband anyways, lived at 117 Lookout Court. So there you go. Useful information. Now I was going to talk about, so you want me to go over some of these, you know, if I can do this in 45 minutes, it is in the thumbnail, these Ventura County, California, or Ventura, California cold cases again that we were talking about the other night. Yeah. So maybe I'll try to do it in a quicker way. So this is, again, I'm going to go over this. This first one is going to be Donna Marie Frizzly. You know what's weird is she's only 14. I mean, I don't think that's the weirdest thing. I was looking at her, I thought she was like 35, you know? It's bizarre. But I guess back in the 60s, 50, you know, it was like 1962, right? Don't you think that's weird? Just looking at that picture? Would you think she was 14 just looking at that? Well, cool, Danielle. Alright, okay, so it says officials planned and this is when she was missing. An all-out search today of desert areas near Lancaster where a 14-year-old girl disappeared early yesterday while babysitting. Donna Marie Frizzly vanished from a home where she was sitting with 3 sleeping children. In the living room were one of her shoes, her cardigan coat, sweater, her purse, a loose dollar bill and a dime, and an overturned radio. So obviously there was a struggle in there. Seems like she just got abducted, taken. The girl is a daughter of Mrs. Marie Frizzly of Lancaster. This case hasn't been solved, by the way. Donna was babysitting at the home of Mrs. Barbara Christensen, 22, and Mrs. Christensen is a divorcee. Said she and her date had dinner with another couple, then went to a cocktail lounge. Wow. At 1 a.m., Donald DeMarco, 32, told officers the girl telephoned him to ask if he knew where Oh, wait, so let's see. Wow, so they went out late then. Oh, man. That sucks. Man, this story just got worse, you know? It's like... So this 22-year-old irresponsible mother, you know, with the babysitter, she goes out, and then instead of just coming home after dinner and everything, she goes out to a cocktail lounge. And then at 1 a.m., Donald DeMarco, 32, told officers the girl telephoned him, I don't know who he is, to ask if he knew where Miss Christensen was, right? The 22-year-old. He had been with Miss Christensen's escort Sunday night while Donna stayed with... Well, she was the... Okay, so let's see. He was Mrs. Christensen's escort Sunday night while Donna stayed with the children. Huh. Wait, so hold on. I'm trying to figure this out. At 1 a.m., Donald, 32, told officers the girl telephoned him. So she did. That means that Donna called the date of Miss Christensen. He had been Miss Christensen's escort Sunday night while Donna stayed with the children. She was missing at 1:30 when Miss Kay Wilson, 23, who shared the house, arrived home. Wow. So that means in a half-hour period of time... Well, who knew that she was there alone babysitting? That's bizarre. Wow. And 2 days later, last person to talk to missing sitter quizzed. Lancaster bartender, reportedly the last person to talk to 14-year-old Donna Marie Frizzly before she disappeared, denied yesterday any connection with the babysitter's mystery. Ronald Frank Ertl, 27, told sheriff deputies the girl telephoned him late Monday night. He said she was trying to locate Mrs. Barbara Christensen, a friend of Ertl, and the woman for whom she was sitting. Donna disappeared prior to 1:30 Tuesday morning. No trace of her has been found. God, that's absolutely crazy. It's like she was looking for the mother so she could go home. Deputies say Ertl voluntarily submitted to a lie detector test, which proved inconclusive, of course. He said he was home all Monday night and Tuesday morning, except for a trip to a self-service laundry. So what date was this? Hold on a second. This is Wednesday. Officials planned an all-night search today. So this is Wednesday, and apparently she went missing on Tuesday. All-night search today of the desert area near Lancaster where a 14-year-old girl disappeared early yesterday while babysitting. Right. So that means it was Monday night was the date, and it went into the morning of February 13th. Okay? Alright, so that makes sense. So what's this down here? Let me read this part again. Field officers, the girl telephoned him to ask if he knew where Miss Christensen, what he had been with escort Sunday night while Donna stayed. So maybe Donna was a babysitter on Sunday night as well as Monday night? So that was probably a second guy, like she thought maybe, I don't know. Shit, that's hard to understand. Deputy said Ertl voluntarily submitted to a lie detector test. It was inconclusive. He said he was home all night Monday night and Tuesday morning, okay, except for a trip to a self-service laundry between 8 and 8:30 Monday night. He told officers the girl said she was drinking tea and listening to the radio when she called. Well, why would she tell you any of that? You know, why would she call you, Ertl, looking for a date, and then start talking about, well, I'm drinking tea and listening to the radio? It almost sounds like you either asked her something a little different, like, hey, what are you up to? You know, it's a little strange. She told Ertl she had locked all doors except the front one. Why would she tell Ertl that? She locked all doors except for the front one, which was open a crack so she could see the driveway. Why would you do that? And so he knew. Yeah, isn't that weird? Because Ertl knew that the door was unlocked, right? Does he have an alibi for that? Investigators also sought clues from newspapers found on a Los Angeles to Las Vegas, Nevada plane. A stewardess found it abandoned by a passenger. The story about the girl's disappearance was circled, and the margin was dotted with notes and phrases. Huh. Open area search. About 15 deputies continued a house-to-house investigation in the outskirts of Lancaster where Donna Marie disappeared. And that's not Donnie and Marie, to continue the joke from the other night. A nearby open area had been searched by mounted deputies and a helicopter. Her divorced parents did not believe the girl could have run away. She's a good girl. She just wouldn't leave, sobbed her mother. Miss Marie Frizzly, also a friend of Ertl. Donna, an A student. She's a level-headed, dependable girl, said her father, Donald Frizzly. Okay, then 5 days later, body of Frizzly girl found in shallow desert grave. Isn't that just ridiculous? The body of 14-year-old babysitter Donna Marie Frizzly was found Tuesday in a shallow desert grave a short distance from an abandoned mine. She had been stabbed in the back and slashed on the throat. The pretty blonde victim, who disappeared while caring for 3 children in Lancaster home, apparently was not sexually molested. She had been stabbed in the back below her right shoulder and had a 3-inch wound on her throat. Jesus. The body was found by two men, John Ganaway, 28, and Diller Frank, 73, who were on their way to a mine when they noticed what appeared to be human feet and strands of hair at the surface of earth which had been washed away by heavy rains. Homicide Chief Floyd Rosenberg said it appeared the slayer, still unknown, was familiar with the area because the grave was located in a seldom traveled spot off a dirt road leading to a mine nearly 6 miles from the nearest main highway. Detective Lieutenant George Watts said some wide tire tracks and some footprints were found around the makeshift grave. And so this is an actual, I mean, I think this is the area right here. Sheriff Douglas L. Dickinson lowers flashlight into abandoned gold mine shaft 24 miles east of Palmdale, seeking clues in slaying of babysitter Donna Marie Frizzly. Men in the background are searching for the murder weapon. Girl's grave is between the two files of searchers. What does that mean? Girl's grave is between the two files of searchers. So like right there? So that's like a, maybe they're talking about like right there. Right off that road, you know, somebody drives in, parks the car, buries the body, and drives the hell out of there again. Babysitter's friends to be quizzed. I mean, who else did she call, I guess? That one guy seems really like he knew the door was unlocked. Known Antelope Valley sex offenders were questioned again Wednesday as teams of sheriff's detectives stepped up their search for the slayer of Donna Marie Frizzly. We believe the person who killed the girl was someone she knew and someone well acquainted with the Antelope Valley. An autopsy by Dr. Kenneth Chapman, medical examiner in the coroner's office, showed death was caused by blows to the head and wounds from a thin-bladed knife which penetrated her heart. Dr. Chapman said the girl had been sexually molested shortly before she died. So now there is evidence of that. That seems like the only reason. I mean, you know, the first article, you almost immediately go, yeah, bullshit. You know, some girl that's 14 isn't abducted to just be beaten up somewhere. Okay, so now they've proven that. At the shallow gravesite, detectives walked off every inch of ground within a couple of 100 yards of where Donna Marie was found in hopes of finding the knife or any other clue. Officers from the crime lab made casts of tire marks at the scene and footprints leading to and from the abandoned gold mine shaft 240 feet up Twin Buttes from where, let's see where Twin Buttes is. Doesn't exist. Anyways, that's Lancaster, California. I think it's like out in this area somewhere. As a matter of fact, I'll just leave it right there for now. I thought I saw another map of it at a different. At the shallow gravesite, detectives walked off every inch. They got the footprints and tire marks. The car tracks indicate the girl's killer tried to drive to the mine shaft, which is 80 feet deep, but was unable to do so. It appeared he probably tried to dump her body into the mine shaft and then just said, forget it. It appeared that the girl was carried out of the car, stabbed, and then quickly buried. Blood from her body soaked a foot into the ground. She was left 400 feet off Palmdale Boulevard. Okay, let's find that. Yeah, that was close. I thought it was kind of out here. It says it was 25 miles from Lancaster. Donna Marie Frizzly. I'm still here. I'm just got to get some stuff marked down. Okay, that was Lancaster. Like there's a, it's on a mountain though, right? Okay, anyway, let me get back to the... Okay, and then that was, now there's another page. Alsop said the car tracks indicated the slayer was familiar with the area, adding, "It's pretty obvious he knew the location of the mine. It's hidden. You can't see it as you drive by, and it's one of the most isolated sections of the valley." Donna Marie vanished while babysitting between 1 and 1:30 a.m. February 12th. Well, okay, so February 12th would be Monday morning at 1:30. At the home of Mrs. Barbara Christensen. Oh, okay. Now we can get the address. Here, hold on. So this is 44245 2nd Street, East Lancaster, California. It's always weird to be able to go back. It's 1962. Maybe this isn't the same house. We'll see here in a second. Yeah, I would bet that's the same. That's the same one. And that makes sense. Isn't that interesting? Look at that. That's just totally interesting now. Because remember, what did she say? She left the front door open so she could see the driveway. And that's right there. And look at that. Like where she was, where the living room is, you probably can't see the drive. You know, there's no windows here, right? I mean, this is literally, like, absolutely made sense. Although it's still crazy. You know, she left the door open so she could see the driveway here. There's no windows here that would have seen the driveway. So, interesting. It's weird how when those old articles are so much more accurate than the shit you see now. And give you so much more information. Makes sense. Laughter and girls' screams heard about the time babysitter Donna Marie Frizzly was kidnapped from a Lancaster home and murdered reopened a line of investigation to detectives Thursday. A woman neighbor who identity was withheld had been questioned earlier, but the incident had at the time escaped her mind. I thought the noise came from the house where the girl disappeared, but believed it was from teenagers, he said. I forgot about it. Detectives who were to re-question the witness Thursday said her evidence gave support to their theory that Donna Marie was beaten and stabbed to death by someone she knew. I don't know about that. I mean, she was beaten and stabbed to death somewhere else. Funeral services for the victim will be conducted Saturday at 3 p.m. Yeah. So, anyways, let me close those down. Man held for questioning. Los Angeles County detectives came here today to question a 19-year-old bad check suspect regarding the unsolved slaying of Lancaster babysitter Donna Marie Frizzly. Philip Michael of Lancaster was arrested Saturday for trying to pass a bad check on a Riverside garage. Officers said he admitted knowing Donna Marie and having last seen her on February 2nd through 11th, on February 2nd, 11 days before she was killed. Michael, officers here said, admitted passing at least $2,000 in bad checks in 4 states and California. He said he what does passing bad checks have to do with anything? The girl's body was found February 20th in a shallow grave 20 miles east of Palmdale. Alright, so let's see where Palmdale is. Let's see if we can find it. Palmdale, California. Okay, and then let's just do right from where it has the pin and go 20 miles. Now let's see how accurate we can. Let's just say right there. And then this is that Palmdale Boulevard is right there. So it's somewhere around here, but it feels like, I wonder if it's right here, you know. Oh shit. This is looking pretty good right here. What do you think? Because I was looking for a mountain. I mean, this is looking pretty good right here. Just a second. Let me get that picture up again. It's looking really, my mind just feels like that was looking pretty good right there. Okay, I see a road. Let me try to go like this. Because this guy's up high here, right? I mean, you know, you got a telephone pole here. I see one there, and then that little road that goes in. That's kind of like right there. Maybe. It's hard to say. I mean, it's so old. Let's see if there's an abandoned mine anywhere around here. I mean, it could be this one too. Well, that one looks perfect though. How about right here? I don't know, that first one looked great. That looks so perfect right there, and it's right near, you know, it's just a little over like 20 2 or 3 miles, you know. What do you guys think? Hard to say for sure. I'll just put one here, possibly this location. It's definitely out in this area, though. "20 miles east of Palmdale." Okay. Now, and then this article came up in 1962, same year, about 3 months later, talking about local murder linked with babysitter death. Because we've got Mary Netherland, 19, Kathleen Dodd, and then Donna M. Frizzly. So even in that picture, she doesn't look 14, right? I mean, so it's they were linking her death with them because one of these other women died as a babysitter as well. So it was pretty crazy. Those are the 3 that I have on the front because they're also part of another story. Donna Frizzly murder case is kept open. This is 1962 in June. So let's see what they have in June. They might have added some more information. Lancaster girl feared kidnapped. Read the headline in editions of last February 13th. It looked like a common case. Girl gone. Parents get worried. Call police. In a short time she returns, but 14-year-old Donna Marie Frizzly didn't return. Instead, 8 days later, her brutally murdered body was found in a shallow grave. And again, if you guys can come up with an example of when the term shallow grave is ever used positively, let me know. Instead, 8 days later, her brutally murdered body was found in a shallow grave in a barren section of the Antelope Valley, 22 miles east of Palmdale. Hey, well now, oops, shit. Let's see if that is almost right exactly what I just did here. Let's see. I'm now at, I'm going to get the measurement. Move it. And that is 21.9 miles. And that's 22. Look at that. Boom! That's what I'm talking about. People always go, God, you get great. You get so excited. Well, look at. I think it's fun. You know, it's fun to be able to figure something out. Okay, because that's like right on the 22-mile mark from the town, right to where the body was found. Okay, so I will bet money that it's on one of these 2 hills where that photo was taken. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. An immediate flurry of police action brought teams ranging up to 50 officers to the scene to hunt for clues. In a few days, the Lancaster babysitter's body was sent east for burial in her birthplace. Her mother, Mrs. Marie Frizzly, followed in mid-March. What did she die too, or what do you mean? Detectives said she may have obtained a job transfer with the Antelope Valley firm she worked for and may still be in the east. Okay. And today, 4 months, that's right, remember she's the one that left and then wrote that really beautiful, the heartfelt letter, probably one of the best letters we've ever seen. It was part 2 of this. It was amazing. And today, 4 months after Donna Marie was reported missing, the case is still on the desk of Sheriff's Office Sergeant Ray Hopkins and Roy Collins in Los Angeles. They said they have as much success as everyone else. None. We've checked out every possible angle, Sergeant Hopkins said, and it's pretty much a standstill. It looks like it may be someone who was just passing through, and any one man job is generally pretty tough. One man job. Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, how would they know that? You know, did they just drive by the house and see a crack of a door open? I mean, where were you coming from? You're driving down this street? No, because the fence would have blocked the view of the door. This way, I don't believe that at all. I think they're just absolutely being... They're not visualizing this correctly. Okay, well, imagine a car going this direction. Down this street, you can't see a damn thing, okay? If you're on this street, you're driving by, well, you're not going to notice a door ajar, right? Because you're already kind of going around the corner. You'd have to like turn your head and go, oh, look, right, way back there, there's a door. And then coming this direction, you're not as high as this camera is. So if that fence was there at the time, you're not going to notice it either. You're just going to go around. Maybe a light was coming through a crack. Who knows? I don't think it was just some random guy driving by. It might be somebody in the area. But what's strange is she was making all these calls, and there were people who knew that she was home alone, and one specific guy who literally knew that she was home alone and left the front door unlocked. Okay, that's a little bit concerning. We've checked out every possible angle. Sergeant Hopkins said he and his partner spent about 15 hours a week reviewing the Frizzly case, but haven't come up with a substantial lead since the body was found. One possibility, however, may be a link with two similar killings in Ventura County, one in April of this year. Well, hopefully they stored, I doubt it though, 1962, but we did have that one case from the 60s that was solved using genetic genealogy. Remember I can't remember her name all of a sudden, but it was that one amazing moment with the camper in the tent. One of them disappeared from her home where her children slept and was found dead from the same type of wounds that caused Donna Marie's death. The other was last seen leaving a theater. Her body was discovered in a lemon grove. Due to the similarity in the way three died, detectives think the same man may have been the killer in all the cases. We never give up, Sergeant Hopkins said. This case is always kept open. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to another case, and it's the Kathleen Dodd. Okay, this is 1962, April 4th. This is one of the ones that they were saying were related, and it's just crazy. Right in her yard, too. Savage killer stabbed pretty wife of deputy 6 times. So she's actually the wife of an officer. Stabbed 6 times, screaming, victim flees. Miss Kathleen Nell Dodd, 22, wife of a deputy sheriff, was savagely murdered at midnight in Ventura, a short distance from her home. She was killed by repeated vicious stabs from a 13-inch butcher knife taken from her own kitchen. The killing took place at the head of a gravel driveway. Well, here we go. Let's see if we can get this one. And I think I have her name already in here, I think. Maybe not. Let's put it in there. Kathleen Nell Dodd. She's only 22 years old. And don't forget, everybody, we are trying to raise funds for the end of the month. Although we've done pretty good tonight. 2 shows. The first one was a weird one where it was just sort of this donation wave for no apparent reason. Yeah, one of those. I'm not sure if they're talking about the blade. Well, butcher knife, a long knife. Okay, so it says 16. Looks like 1604 Vista Del Mar Drive in Ventura. Okay, there we go. So that's it, I guess. Home. Mrs. Dodd, screaming, fled some 50 feet down the driveway to collapse grotesquely over a gas meter and a picket fence where she died. 2 women saw her running, but nobody apparently saw her assailant. She'd been stabbed at least 6 times. One of the savage blows went entirely through her right arm and into her side. Police this afternoon were preparing to question a neighbor twice convicted of rape who was recently freed from prison. Several hobos at the nearby hobo jungle were rounded up, interrogated, and cleared. Her husband, Deputy Sheriff Robert Dodd, 26, who reported his 5 months pregnant wife missing, passed a voluntary lie detector test late this morning. Dodd, who identified the body at the morgue, told police he was drinking beer in an Oxnard bar at the time the murder occurred. He said he arrived home at the family residence. Wait, hold on. Okay, their residence is 449 South Hurst Street. Well, where the hell is that? Oh wow, so she ran that far? That's crazy. Oh, thank you, Dadio. Caspian Horses rocks. Man, these stories are just nuts, you know. So what was this first part up here then? The killing took place at the head of a gravel driveway. So that's where she died. It's down the road. So what did she... Oh yeah, and this is the railroad tracks they were talking about. So that means she ran down here. Oh, that's right, that's right. And she was tracked down. He chased her from that house. That's right, that's right. Hold on, let me... She had been stabbed at least 6 times. Police this afternoon were preparing. Dodd, who identified the body. Okay. He said he arrived home at the family residence at 449 South Hurst Street at 1:30 a.m. and found his wife gone and their daughters, Beverly Lynn 3 and Linda K 1, asleep in a bedroom. The children are being cared for by Mrs. Dodd's parents in Ojai or something like that. Dodd called police to report his wife missing. The report led to identifying her body. Because she carried no purse, her identity had remained a mystery for an hour and a half. The body was found 200 yards west of the Dodd home across the Southern Pacific Railroad tracks. So look at that. I mean, look how accurate this shit is, everybody. I mean, don't you wish stuff was like this now? And look at that. It's 250 yards, so wasn't quite 200. It was right there. And I don't even think there's a... Well, look at that. There's a road right on the inside of there. And apparently that's the house. Probably doesn't look anything like... I'm sure it's changed since then. Let me see what it looks like even 1994. Yeah. So anyways, she was in the house. Somebody obviously got in the house and attacked her. Then she ran this direction. And then Captain Robert M. King, Chief of Detectives of the Ventura Police Force, said her assailant would have been spattered with blood from 2 wounds on either side of her neck, which caused almost instantaneous death. She was clad in capri pants, a white blouse with polka dots, and cloth shoes. This morning, Detective Mike McCarty of the Sheriff's Office found a pair of women's panties and some women's plastic frame glasses on the railroad embankment. Mrs. Dodd was not wearing underpants when the body was discovered. Wow. So she just sort of put her pants back on really quick and tried to escape. Earlier, shortly after dawn broke, the murder weapon was discovered. The 8-inch blood, I don't know, something blade with a brown wooden handle was found alongside a 4-foot wire fence at the rear of 1630 Ocean Avenue. So let's go to that. 1630 Ocean Avenue, Ventura. So over here. Now what if that was 1639, would that be okay, let's say, what do you guys think? I think that says 1630. Where is that? Right there. It's hard to make out because it's, what do you think? It looks like 1630 or 1639. I'm gonna go with 30. Yeah, see, these are stories you're never going to hear on any other channel. Let me just tell you that right now, okay? You can forget it. They're going to just keep covering Chris Watts every single day for... Okay. Oh, now I can see it. I can see it better right now. That's 1604. I can see that better now. All right. The knife fits neatly into an unfilled space on a knife rack. Okay, so let's see. Captain King speculated that the murderer flung it away so he could climb the fence. Okay. 4-foot wire fence at the rear of 1630. So let's get to that. I think 1630 makes sense. Okay, and then wouldn't the rear of the home be this side? Because that's the front. And that's the knife. Okay, let's go do the other one. So Captain King speculated that the murderer flung it away so he could climb the fence. The weapon had not been checked for fingerprints by noon. King called it our most vital clue. The knife fits neatly into an unfilled space on a knife rack in the kitchen of the Dodd home. Its tip was bent with the savagery of the blows. Jesus. The crime was reported to police by Mrs. Mary Guthrie of 1604 Vista Del Mar Drive. Okay. Well, is that a second home behind there, or what? I don't get it. It's the same address. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. At midnight, she had said she was awakened by screams and looked out the fog to see Mrs. Dodd running toward the house. But they lived at, where did they live? 1604, and that was 1604. At the head of a gravel driveway at 1604 Vista Del Mar. Oh, never mind. I got that backwards. Sorry, that was the house that... That's where it was reported. It was where she collapsed. So this is where she died. And the owner of the house is who reported it. Okay, that makes sense, because she lived right here. So it's interesting because now that you see that the knife is there, that means whoever it was went back this direction. You know, chased her down, killed her, and then sort of, you know, went over here. We don't know yet. But it's obviously they went back in a... Why didn't they keep going that direction? Okay, another neighbor, Mrs. Claire McWilliams, a nurse at the county health department who lives at 1594 Vista Del Mar, ran out a small gate nearby. The two women covered the body with a blanket. Police theorized the killer might have crouched in the bushes a few feet away until the woman went down the driveway, enabling him to make his escape. Mrs. Dodd reportedly feared prowlers and kept her doors locked even in the daytime. Neighbors around the Dodd residence heard no outcry. Captain King said he feels it is unlikely she would go for a walk at midnight in the chill, dense fog. Well, right, and she wouldn't have left her kids at home like that. You know. District Attorney, well, maybe back then they would have. I don't know. District Attorney Woodruff J. Deem visited the scene of the crime personally this morning. His chief investigator, Clarence Henderson, was to conduct the lie detector test of Deputy Dodd. County pathologist Dr. Gerald K. Ridge was conducting an autopsy today. He said the wounds were stabs rather than slashes and appeared to have been inflicted with great force. One was in the abdomen, two was in the neck, two in the back. In addition to one in the arm and side, she died within seconds of the attack. There was no sign of a disturbance inside the Dodd home, although someone had spilled part of a cup of tea in the doorway. Right, so she probably went over and answered the door and something happened. These and a partially burned cigarette were found just inside the driveway where the stabbing took place. And that's, they're on the crime scene. It's a little bit dark, hard to see, but... No suspects in knife killing. The Dodd murder is reminiscent of another stabbing death, never solved, which occurred in Ventura County last year. On March 4th, 1961, the body of a 19-year-old Oxnard divorcee, Mary Netherland, of 3931 South F Street, was found crumbled in a citrus grove south of the city. Like Mrs. Dodd, she had been stabbed 6 times. Also, like Miss Dodd's death, was caused by a stab wound in the neck. Unlike the case, however, the knife was never found. Also, Miss Netherland had been beaten over the head. Let me see where 3931 South F Street. Because that's one of the other cases, so I might as well get that in there. 3931. Okay. This is Sutherland. Mary Netherlane, I mean. Okay. Oh, and there. That's her right there. Okay. Oh, I already have it. I already have that information. Oops. I like the way it did that better, though. Okay. Okay. Like Miss Dodd, she'd been stabbed. Unlike that case, however, the knife was never found. She had been last seen when she left home to attend the movies on Saturday. So I think we kind of went over that one, Netherlane. So I probably won't go over that one again. Remember that one when she went to the movies? We went over that, I think, 2 nights ago. Let's see. The two evidently then crossed the tracks. Let me read this part. Police now believe whoever killed Miss Dodd, they picture a strong man, somewhat taller than her, 5'7.5" height may have been known to her. They believe he was admitted to the house at 449 South Hurst Street by Mrs. Dodd, that while her attention was distracted or she left the room, that he entered the kitchen of the two-bedroom frame house, took the knife from the rack and concealed it on his person. She accompanied him outside. Hold on a second. Had an itch behind this stupid neck brace. Okay. She accompanied him outside the house. Outside, perhaps voluntarily, perhaps at knife point, along the railroad embankment. There was evidence they were intimate. Really. A pair of women's panties and plastic frame women's eyeglasses, since identified as Mrs. Dodd, were found in the spot. Also 2 cigarette butts. The two evidently then crossed the tracks to Vista Del Mar Drive, where the stabbing occurred. It is believed the wounds in her abdomen, side, and back were inflicted first. The fatal stab wound was one on the right side of the neck, which severed the carotid artery. It is believed this also cut the voice box, rendering Miss Dodd incapable of further screams after it was inflicted. She was 5 months pregnant with a baby boy, which was apparently alive at the time of the mother's death. Oh, shit. Whether the murderer can be charged with a double crime as a result of the baby's death was not immediately clear. Well, they should be, okay? But if you're somebody who believes in, you're pro-abortion, then you can't believe that he should have another crime at that point, because it's not a life, right? I believe it is, and therefore he should have been charged with murder of that other child. Okay, the autopsy established evidence of recent intercourse. There was no surface indication that physical force had been used. Well, obviously it was forced, okay? The 160 found... let me get rid of this person here. They're just a weird person. You can just tell they're up to no good. This odd griffin idiot. Let's see. Fingerprint pairings were being checked today to determine if she may have clawed her killer. The autopsy established evidence of recent intercourse. There was no surface indication. Right. Well, maybe she complied and didn't want to be killed, and then she ran for it. Captain King said some $58 were missing from the home, which had not been accounted for. Requiem... Okay, that's something different. Alright, let me move on to the next one. So this is a day later. Navy copter aids murder probers. So they're just looking for information. So now they're at a dead end. Just literally 5 days in. This is an article. They're at a dead end. And then 11 days after that, no leads yet in murder case. And 6 days after that, local murders linked with babysitter death. So here we go. Kathleen Dodd, Mary Netherlane, and the one we just discussed a minute ago. The Frizzly, Donna Marie Frizzly. And then 4 months after that, Now here's the thing that's interesting is, so this is Kathleen Dodd right here, right? And then now there is somebody that got charged. New evidence has brought a second murder indictment against Ernest Akins, 20. Okay, but before we get to that, let me see. Hold on a second. Alright, so you guys have that. So they did arrest somebody on that case, alright? Now here's another case. Listen to this one. So this is a picture of it. And it's sometime between 8 a.m. and 3 p.m. Monday, Mary Winfred Eaton was murdered. And this is 1965. Eaton was murdered in her house at 396 Santa Cruz Street in Ventura. So let's see. Let's see where that is. 396 Santa Cruz Street, Ventura, California. Well, look at this. The one we just talked about was right here, right? And look where this lady lives. Just 3 years later. Killed right here. And let's see if I have this folder. So let me add I'm going to add a folder here. This is Mary Winifred Eaton. Okay. And that is 39. Boom. Boom. Okay, so look how close that is, right? So I got that. And this is 1965. And then this is an image of the scene. This is actually her, I think, on the bed here, dead. And it's crazy that they got Ventura Police Captain John McDonald in the background looks as an ambulance attendant covers Mary Winfred Eaton, 60, and prepare to take her to Ventura County General Hospital. So it looks like that's inside the house, just based on, looks like there's a wall there. Okay, and then it says, Murder House, sometime between 8 a.m. and 3 p.m. Monday, Mary Winifred Eaton was murdered in her house at 396 Santa Cruz Street, Ventura. Police converged on the house about 7 p.m. Three years and a block apart, this map shows the locale of two stabbing murders in Ventura. Box on her street, where Miss Kathleen Dodd, 23, lived in April 1962. Towards midnight on that foggy night, she left house, possibly at knife point, to walk a quarter of a mile and on the dotted line, across railroad tracks to Vista Del Mar, where she was stabbed to death. I think she was chased. I don't buy the whole... I think she was maybe stabbed and ran bleeding. I don't know. They would know that, though, I guess. The X on Santa Cruz Street shows where Mrs. Mary Winfred Eaton was savagely murdered in her own home yesterday. So there you go. That's exactly what we were just looking at on the map, is just literally how close they are. Look at that. And it's not, I would say it's a little more than, well, it's about a block from this home, but about 2 blocks from where she was found dead. Husband finds victim's body. Miss Mary Winifred Eaton, 60, caterer at the Ventura Women's Center, was savagely murdered by a knife-wielding killer yesterday in her Ventura home. The slaying, remained undiscovered by her husband and daughter, who had roamed around the house at 396. Look how weird this is. They roamed around the house at 396 Santa Cruz Street, Ventura, for several hours. Miss Eaton's partially clad body, so she was raped, lay face down in her son's bedroom. Her wrists had been tied behind her back. She had been stabbed in the heart and in her throat, slit from ear to ear. A drying ring of blood on the brown carpet led police to believe she had been dead several hours. Her throat was slit twice, and she had been stabbed once. The elastic belt that bound her hands belonged to her son. I mean, what a freaking nightmare. Miss Eaton's rings were reported missing, and some money may have been stolen. Detectives were questioning an unidentified man this morning, but released him about 11 a.m. The same man had been picked up in the 1962 slaying of Miss Kathleen Dodd, 23, who was knifed to death a few blocks from Eaton's home. Inspector Robert King, head of the Ventura Police Detective Bureau, cited unusual similarities in the two cases. The victim's daughter, Susan Eaton Mann, 17, came home from Ventura High School. See, this is where it's a little different than the first story that we covered, because her body was driven miles away, and these two were killed where the event happened. The one lady in the last case, she just got up and ran, and he caught her. They watched TV for a while and left. Okay, let's see. Eaton Mann, 17, came home from Ventura High School, where she's an 11th grader, at 3:30 p.m. She was driven by her husband of 2 weeks, David Mann, 18, of 2149 Monmouth. They watched TV for a while and left. At 5:30, Miss Eaton's husband, Frank, 61, came home. He is a truck driver for the Shell Oil Company, where he has worked 29 years. Police were summoned about 7:10 p.m. by her husband. The Eatons had been married 34 years, and besides Susan, have a son, Edwin Lee Eaton, 16. Eaton was stunned. "I didn't even know she was dead," he said. "I was in the house 2 hours or more, just reading the newspaper, reading it very slow when I went to the garage to look for her. Her car was there. It worried me. I hadn't seen her. I went to the door of Eddie's bedroom. I didn't see anything. I turned. Then I thought something is wrong here. I saw the covers pulled off the bed, the way they usually are in his bedroom. I went back. She was lying on the other side of the bed with her head wrapped in Eddie's yellow bathrobe. Inspector King and other officers converged on the house, and the officers threw a cordon around the modest stucco structure. A damp fog closed in around the house while detectives conducted a flashlight search of the yard of the house and its vicinity for a possible murder weapon or footprints or clues to the murder. When police found her, she was clothed in a bra and a blouse and was nude from the waist down. A pair of pedal pushers lay on the floor. Inspector King said he didn't know if she had been sexually assaulted. An autopsy has been scheduled to determine whether she was attacked. King surmised she had been stabbed to death by an assailant using a knife from the kitchen. Well, there you go. He said his detectives did find a knife with a slight tinge of pink on it, but he would not say if it was the murder weapon. The floor of the service room was half waxed. The son, also a Ventura High School student, said he helped his mother move furniture for the waxing before he left the morning. Susan noticed the stretch cord of the floor publisher, but thought little of it. She went into the living room and started reading. When Eaton came home, he asked his daughter where her mother was, but neither gave it much thought, he said. "Go upstairs and look for her," Eaton told Susan, but the upstairs bedroom Susan uses was empty. Eddie returned home about 7 p.m. His father explained. Let me drink some liquid here. He didn't say he didn't know if she was dead. They didn't know that she was in the house because she wasn't in the room she was normally in. She was in their son's room. Eddie returned home about 7 p.m. His father explained they had all left the house before 8 a.m. Monday. The woman was alone most of the day, police guessed. King said he figured the murder occurred between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. There was no evidence of forced entry, theorizing the woman must have let someone in the house. King said there was no sign of a struggle. Detectives questioned Mrs. Eaton's neighbors in efforts to determine who might have visited the house. From what I know, they were a good family, they were good people, and were a close-knit group. So, let's see. Then the next day, husband thinks he knows wife's killer. So, it doesn't really say anything in that article about it. The headline was pretty interesting. So that's, kind of how that ends right there. However, then we go to this guy named Ernest Akins. So here we go. This is just 5 days later. Young Ventura arraigned in Eaton murder. So this is this case right here. Okay, Ernest James Aiken, 20, Ventura, was arraigned today in Ventura Municipal Court on charges of murdering Mrs. Mary Winifred Eaton, 60. Akins was arrested by Ventura police last night for the vicious knife slaying of the attractive housewife. And, why do they mention that? Who cares, right? Well, we wouldn't have done a story if she was ugly. You know what I'm saying? So, that's what they're saying. At the attractive housewife and food caterer. She was killed in a bedroom of her home Monday. He was arraigned in Judge Richard C. Heaton's court at about 1:30. The youth, who had been in trouble with the law since he was 8 years old and is currently on parole from the California Youth Authority, was undergoing an extensive interrogation at the Ventura Police Station this morning. Questioning him were Inspector Robert King, Chief of Detective. King phoned the police station from Pasadena about 5:35 p.m. Let's see. The youth had gone to Pasadena suddenly Monday afternoon, having been driven there by two friends. He may have spent some of the money stolen from Eaton's home for gasoline. Inspector King, in charge of the case, would make no statement about evidence or clues in last night. There was a report, however, that the youth gave 2 rings taken from Miss Eaton's body to 2 girlfriends in Pasadena. He had spent some time in that city in the past, living with relatives. It was believed some witnesses, possibly the girls, were brought there. It was reported, too, that the youth made incriminating statements to persons with whom he hitchhiked a ride to return to Ventura. He was taken into custody at 6 a.m. Tuesday upon his return and jailed for violating court order not to leave the country. The youth, described as tall and muscular, was spirited out of the Ventura City jail yesterday and taken to district office for a lie detector test. The move was to comply with an order of, Anyways, let me move on to the next one. Did Akins work for the police? So this is was a little bit weird, right? Ernest Akins, 20, accused of murdering Mrs. Mary Eaton, 60, of her Ventura home April 26, says he was paid by the Ventura Police Department for doing undercover work shortly before the murder. His attorney, Ben Ashby of Ventura, appears, so it appears to be true that he was an informant, but as the judge says, what difference does it make? He said it would endanger lives of other informants. Okay. Osborne opposed revealing Akins' record on the grounds that it had no bearing on the case. He said the lab tests have been inconclusive and are not completed. The judge will rule on these items also. So murder suspects hears mate testify. So this is, they actually get the trial here. This is, well, it must have been, maybe it was just a hearing. I don't know. Ventura Superior Court assembled in the bedroom. See, listen how weird this is. The court actually went to the house and they were all standing in the bedroom of where she was murdered. Ventura Superior Court assembled in the bedroom of Frank Eaton yesterday, or in the house of the lady, to take his testimony of the vicious murder, because see, he was dying of cancer. Vicious murder of his wife Mary in their Ventura home, April 26. The special deposition with court officials, a judge, attorney, and murder suspect, Ernest Akins, now he's back in the house, 20, was taken yesterday because Eaton, 61, is dying of cancer. District Attorney Woodruff Deem said nothing short of a miracle would enable Eaton to testify at Akins' trial. The trial was postponed yesterday from August to September because certain lab tests have still not been completed. The press was barred from the 2-hour proceeding due to Eaton's ill health. Deem said the proceeding went very orderly and there were no objections by attorneys. Objections, if any, will come when Eaton's testimony is introduced in the trial itself. The deposition at the Eaton's home yesterday afternoon had all the drama and suspense of a movie. The sun was shining brightly, it was hot and humid, and the neighborhood was quiet. At 2:10 p.m., Sheriff Sergeant Don Kent drove Akins up in a black paddy wagon and parked across the street from the Eaton's home to wait. Sometime later, bailiff Carl Summers, court clerk Wanda Darniel, and court reporter Kay DeLorenzo arrived and parked on a side street at 225. Deem and DA's investigator Dick Wilson arrived and went into the house carrying 2 bags of exhibits Eaton later identified. At 2:40, the bailiff, clerk, and reporter went into the house, and 2:50, Akins' attorney Kenneth Haymaker and Ben K. Ashby arrived in shirt sleeves, but put on their coats and went in. At 3 p.m., Kent let Akins out of the paddy wagon, and they went in. The defendant must be present at all proceedings in his case. It was the first time Akins had been outside Ventura jail since his confinement in April. A few neighbors noticed the black paddy wagon, but they did not seem to be much curiosity about it. Mrs. Eaton's body was found by her husband in a bedroom, half-dressed, her hands tied behind her back, and her throat cut. There is evidence that she was sexually attacked, according to the investigators. So, there he is. And then on the 17th, let me just move on to this next one here. DA to present Dodd case evidence. So look at, so now they've associated him too to the Dodd case. So here's the thing, everybody, is he actually is the killer of Dodd as well. Okay? And he was only 16 at the time, so he wasn't given, yeah, see it says right here, Akins had been sent to juvenile court in connection with the murder of Miss Dodd because he was only 16 in 1962. He will have a hearing there tomorrow to determine whether he will be accepted by juvenile court or sent to superior court. So he's the one that killed Dodd, and they didn't even, he got the death penalty. He got the gas chamber. And I don't know if he ever got executed, though, because it's California. Let's see what the last one is. Gas chamber is ordered for rapist killer. A judge has decreed death for Ernest James Akins Jr., 20, in the rape murder of 2 women slain with their own kitchen knives. The tall defendant, a Ventura resident, showed no emotion as Superior Judge Jerome H. Berenson announced his verdict in a packed courtroom at the climax of a penalty trial. So the other, I just thought I would show you, those were 2 unsolved cases that we were looking at the time, but then it turns out they were solved later. But the other case that we originally talked about, Frizzly, has not been solved. And I don't think it's related. It seems totally different. Even though the stab wounds are similar to the neck and that kind of thing. I know. Yeah, it's crazy. I know. I mean, what's weird is, here's what I would have done. If I was the husband dying of cancer, I would have figured out a way to blow the guy's brains out right there. Because what difference does it make? He would never gone to trial. Nobody would have cared. Although, you know, I guess at that point he wasn't, you know, nobody had proved anything. So I guess that's how I would have felt, you know. And the prosecution presented evidence that both women had been raped. Miss Eaton was found on her bedroom floor, hands tied behind her back. He probably, you know, what they need to do is check other killings and other things that have gone on. This guy, he's not listed as a serial killer, but he was one. I mean, that is who he was going to be. He was only 20 years old, and he killed 2 women viciously, exactly that same way, and he wasn't going to be stopping. So they, you know, there's probably other people that maybe he just didn't kill, but it was very similar. I mean, had he killed one more, he would have been a serial killer that they could prove. Apparently, he lived right in that same area. There's this really long article here that it was, I think this is from, it was 1969, but it was retyped up. And it goes through the whole thing. I mean, it says, let's see. Catch a gopher. I almost want to go over this one at some point because it's got all the details in it. So I don't know whatever happened to him. I can't find where he was executed, and I don't know if he's still alive or what. But anyways, I'm tired now, everybody. I stayed on a lot longer than the extra 45 minutes. But wow, I mean, aren't those really crazy stories? The one that's still still unsolved is Frizzly, and it's amazing they didn't even cover it anymore, really. After that, just sort of went away. So, well, my voice is sounding tired. Yeah. Okay, all right, everybody. Maybe I'll do one loop on the flyby just to get that back in again. And thank you on this show to Cairo, Paisley Dreams, Miss Skiss, Allison R., Michelle Nicholas, Jennifer Cochran Fent, Wally Gator, Sapphire, Dadio Caspian Horses Rock, Zozo, Spicy Bricey, Zozo, Chrissy Paradis, Zozo again, Joseph Tharp, Kit Kat, Zozo, Dadio Caspian Horses Rock, William Zambrano, Arthur Roy, Sarita, Nan Sullivan, Cairo, Rebecca N., Randy B., Zozo, Chrissy Paradis, Alifair M, Allison R, Crystal, aka Beaver Gaming Sub Crystal, Zozo, Dadio Caspian Horses Rock, and Dadio Caspian Horses Rock.
That's somewhere in Utah, everybody. Jesse says thanks.
Alright, no problem.
Yay! This is so fun! Yay! So cool, look at that, it's a nebulae, it's a nebulae, it's a nebulae, it's a nebulae, it's a nebulae.
Wow, yes, that's Nebulae Iglidliglag.
Yay, that was really cool and neato. Wow, that was great.
Yeah, alright everybody. Wow, don't you think that Mary Lou needs another cup of coffee? Just curious. I think Mary Lou needs to have another cup of coffee. Alright everybody, so thank you for showing up, and make sure that you're washing your hands, you are doing the social distancing, make sure you wear a mask, okay? Make sure you wear a mask when you go out in any stores or you're around other people, okay? Alright everybody, thank you very much, and as I always say everybody, until next time, be safe out there. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector. Fuck rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya.
Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Where'd you go?
Ejector.
Where'd you go, Ray? Where'd you go, Ray? Where'd you go, Ray?
Like Radio's gonna give another lecture. Crime collector. Freak connector. And I'm always gonna be a pup protector. Full deflector. Interceptor. And I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector. On his spectre. With a respect, just remember I've a temple fucking checked ya. I have no agenda. I'm a pretender. And I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. Alright, everybody? Talk to you.
Wow, Mary Lou, you're getting pretty good at that rap improvising stuff. You're awesome.
Wait, is that really you, John Boy? You never said anything nice to me. Wow, that was so cool.
Well, I sure as hell won't say another nice thing again after you just said that.
Oh, that's not very nice. I mean, sometimes I do things that are really pretty cool, don't you think?
Yeah, every once in a while, and I just mentioned one, but then you had to act shocked that I said it.
Wow, you're so mean. Good night, John Boy.
Good night, Mary Lou.
Oh, man. They had it. They looked like they were gonna... Didn't it look like they were gonna end that show on a positive note? It looked so close. And yet so far. Anyways, thank you guys very much for hanging in there tonight. Be safe out there.